also start over a fresh video series for Introduction to the Gladiator, and we will follow that all the way through Paladin. We'll also have the video for Introduction to the Conjurer. What we're going through now is sort of a hybrid Arcanist and storyline. Once I progress far enough into the story and get that Gladiator, I will go back and start doing just dedicated Conjurer or dedicated Arcanist, eventually transitioning to the jobs and have videos for every single job so people can kind of understand if you're new to the Final Fantasy franchise or you're thinking about picking up Final Fantasy XIV. You can watch those videos and kind of get a feel for the flavor of the job, how it operates, what its role in combat is, and how difficult it would be to pick up. Okay, so they want me to talk to somebody inside, on the outside. Always on the outside. There's nobody in that building. So we'll talk to this person here, who was a quest giver earlier. She's telling me where to find this person that I keep chasing. This sort of culminating in the end of the, or nearing the end of the storyline for Limsa Lominsa, which is there's these people who are abducting people. We're trying to find them. Is it related to this Severin person who was apparently stealing oranges? You know, what's going on? Who's involved? Can we stop them? And eventually, once that wraps itself up, then we transition into the main part of the story, which is you're this new person, this new warrior. You're trying to get these crystals. The leader of Limsa Lominsa, I will meet her soon, and she will send me on a quest to become an envoy and talk to the other Grand Company leaders, which is essentially the game's way of introducing you to the different city-states and gaining access to those areas. And then after that is all concluded, the storyline continues on in its linear path with you bouncing between the three groups and helping all of them and eventually deciding which one you want to align yourself with. Unless you're going to do a lot of PvP, it doesn't really matter. You just pick the one with the aesthetics you like. If you're going to do PvP, it does matter more. I chose to start with the Arcanist because I've never really quested out here in Limsa Lominsa. I've never done this storyline. I've never started a class. I've picked up the Summoner Scholar before, and I've picked up Black Mage, or I'm sorry, I've picked up the Rogue Ninja class, picked up Marauder, which turns into Warrior. I've picked them up before and played them some, but I've never played through the beginning part of the game in this zone. Had I just picked what I wanted to start, I probably would have started in Gridania and picked up the Conjurer or the Gladiator Paladin in Ulda, but I've done those so many times that this was interesting. So this is obviously going to send me through another instanced battle with probably the tattooed man up there who's fighting Severin. So these are the bad people. Severin is a good guy, and we are going to help him. Ooh, he is not having a good time. enter a very ominous, shadowed figure. So whereas the storylines have sort of branched up to this point, this battle with this specific enemy, the dark robed figure, um, is the same for everybody. Obviously, for me, it's just taking place in a different location because I've never been here before, but you fight the clay golem everywhere. This is very critical to the overarching story that you will be in for many, 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 many levels. That black hooded figure is very important to the story and the group that they represent. I'm going to not spoil a whole lot right now, but very, very critical piece. Reapply our dots here. Run away from that because that's going to hurt. These battles, if you can make sure to avoid the avoidable damage, you should be fine. If you start getting hit by those, or your hand slips and you don't make it out, or you try to cheat, play chicken with the ability, which I do not recommend, especially if you're playing a caster who has a long cast time or a healer. It's better to get out and live than try to get that heal off and die, or try to get the cast off and die. Here's our friend Y'shtola again. So for those of you who don't really know a whole lot about Final Fantasy XIV, um, the game is officially called Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. Why does it have that title? Well, this game launched quite a few years ago and had an absolutely horrible launch. The game was completely different. The play style, the functionality of combat, the way that the roles worked, very, very different. It was mismanaged from the beginning so poorly that Square Enix, the publishing and development company, had to toss out the leadership and bring in somebody else to right the ship. That person came in and decided the only thing we can do with this world is to reset it. So they caused a great calamity, a world-ending event that culminated in all of the players being logged out at the same time. They got to see this beautiful cutscene. Um, it's called The End of an Era. You can look it up on YouTube. Um, the song that's associated with it is called Answers. You can find that cutscene. It's like 7 minutes long. Um, all the players experienced that played this game in 1.0 at the same time, and then they were logged out. And they were logged out for a very, very, very long time while this game was rebuilt from the ground up. The story, the mechanics, the battle system, everything. And then it was relaunched as A Realm Reborn. The heroes of that world are gone. We don't know where they are. You see them in the cutscene be teleported away. And then at the beginning, the Adventurers Guild gentleman was telling me that, a few years ago, the calamity happened, and now everyone's memory is foggy. Nobody remembers exactly what happened. That's the lore reason for why people don't recognize individuals like me as being so important and so special, because the world was essentially reset. And while they remember their childhood and they remember growing up and they remember how to speak and they remember how to do all these things, that whole event, the calamity, they don't really know exactly 100% what happened. They know what happened before and they know all the struggles that they had after. It was very interesting. Never have I seen a game fail so poorly and be able to recover so strongly. It's a testament to the development staff and the producers that they brought in, that they were able to right the ship so effectively. You can certainly go look up those videos on YouTube. The End of an Era videos, and watch and see how different the game was at that time, and watch that end event. It's very, very unique. Something that I don't think has ever really been done in an MMO before. Um, Very, very good story. I did not play back in 1.0, so I never got to experience that. I've only seen videos. But from what I understand is that these characters, Y'shtola, Thancred, the city-state leaders, all of these characters existed in 1.0. You even see them in that cutscene, that very long cutscene that's at the beginning of the game. Um, they had a role to play as well, but they too don't really fully understand exactly what happened. Alright, wants us to go back to the farms again. I believe that completing this will send us back to Limsa. If it doesn't, we'll go back there anyway and we'll do our class quest. This gentleman's going to turn himself in for crimes that he committed. They want me to go back and tell somebody what happened. I assume that person is in Limsa. Yep, it's the person at the Adventurers Guild. So you're going to return, explain the whole story, everything that happened. The good news is the quest that I picked up a long time ago to kill those Aurelia is actually going back to the same person, so I can finally turn in that quest I've been holding on to for so long. Won't be worth as much as it was before, but we'll still get some XP from it. Where do we want to go? We're going to just go here. We're going to run over and we're going to take the lift. Because the Adventurers Guild is connected to this lift, it doesn't have a teleport right next to it. This is probably faster. There's the level 5 chess piece that I would have gotten had I completed that quest and didn't have to, well, I got one for my job, so it wasn't a big deal. Class. Technically it's a class. I keep saying job, but it's a class until you get your soul crystal and it becomes its more advanced self. Okay, so inn rooms are now available. Those are places where you can rest. It also gives you access to the glamour chest, which is where you can save items, convert them into glamours that they can make gear look like them without you needing to carry all these things around. And then he's also telling me about lave quests, which are those short quests that you can do to gain additional XP. It also helps you start gaining experience in what will become group content. And I also have access to recommendations, which every time you log in from this point on, it will say, hey, there are some things going on in your area. Usually either achievements or quests that are already sitting on the map that you should interact with. So here's a new icon. Blue quest means it's important. It's not main scenario important, but it is more important than, say, a gold one. That usually unlocks something. In this case, it's going to unlock the ability to do lev quests, which are very important to leveling your character. So I will do that. This wants me to go to Swift Perch, which is an area I haven't been to yet. So we will leave out the appropriate gate and go to that area eventually. That probably means that's where my questing is going to take me here shortly. But we are going to follow the skylift. Okay, so this wants me to go there. So we've got a main scenario, a leave quest, and we need to do our job quest. So let's pick up the job quest and see where it takes us. It could end up taking us near one of these other quests, which would be fantastic. Or it could be in a totally different area, which is fine. So just like the last story quest, it starts out with go kill some enemies. So we will go kill them, see where they're at. They are, in fact, in the area where I need to be. So, fantastic. Um, Looks like the easiest way to get there is either via ship or to run across the map. So we're just going to go ahead and run across the map. From the zone that we've been in, we're going to go to the north, and it's going to transition into the zone we need to go to. We'll attune to that aetheryte so we can travel back there, but this will help us unlock a couple different things. So it's good if you're going to be doing a great deal of questing, um, to just try to double up if you can. The first thing we're going to do is do our story mission Sky High, which is sort of in between where we need to go. And if it sends me back to town, we will just hold off on that until we complete our class quest. Probably could have accessed that. Well, no, it doesn't look like I could have accessed it from Limsa. I could have come out right here and just run up, but this works. I pulled another one of those. Man, those guys just don't let up. So my carbuncle attacked, but if you get too far away, if you have a pet and they're attacking something and you run away, they disappear. So now I don't have my pet. So I have to resummon. Just like if you put your pet on the battlefield and tell them stand here, like if I were to do place and put her right there, she's going to stay there until I bring her back. So here's an example of that wall effect. It won't let you just jump off there. So we got some new pants. He wants us to deliver some packages. He wants us to deliver packages kind of on the way where we're going, so we'll go ahead and complete one of those. Let's check our gear real quick because we picked up some things. Okay, so we got a new headpiece and got a new pair of pants. Fantastic. Let's continue on. Here are the jackals that we need to kill for our class quest. So we will go ahead and do that now. My pet interrupted that cast of that sort of charged AoE by pushing the enemy back. It's very convenient. Okay, there There's one. Enemies will typically have the same behavior. So earlier when we were being attacked by those pucks, or when we were attacking those pucks, as soon as they aggroed to me, they always turned and did an AoE. With these jackals, unless you completely interrupt them from the beginning, they will run up to you and immediately cast that line AoE ability. That sanguine bite, I think it's called, yeah. So you can learn the patterns of the enemies and anticipate it so you don't interrupt your spell casting. If you know they're immediately going to make you move, don't even bother. Cast something that's instant or don't cast anything at all. It prevents you from taking damage unnecessarily, and it just simply doesn't waste time. Alright, so there's half of that quest done. I will double check once I deliver this package that the other half of our quest is in the new zone. If it is, we'll continue on. And if it's in this zone, we'll come back.